A couple of things happening for this week here, the week of April 13th. Number one is we've got even more chaos happening in the California governor's race, where Democrats are concerned with this top two primary system that two Republicans could actually advance into the general election. They were beginning to coalesce around Congressman Eric Swalwell, and on Sunday night, he ended his campaign for governor, largely due to these charges, not charges, but accusations against him of sexual harassment and sexual assault from former staff members and interns. So that has killed his gubernatorial campaign and actually probably kills his political career because he can't come back into the House race now since the filing deadline has long since passed. So Eric Swalwell will be out after this Congress. And so what happens in this California governor's race? It's a crazy race. There's 62 candidates that will be on the primary ballot, 23 of whom are Democrats. And what now they need to coalesce around one of those to make sure that they block the Republicans, which are a much smaller electorate, but they have fewer choices. So if they concentrate on their votes between Steve Hilton, the former Fox News a news host who President Trump now has endorsed, and the Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, then some polls have those two running 1-2. That's why the Democrats, the leadership were beginning to coalesce behind Swalwell to make sure he was in at least second place there. Well, with him out, now it's a free-for-all. You have Tom Steyer, the billionaire. Now, he's spent about $90 million on this race so far. He's not a favorite of the party establishment. He's a little too independent for them. So they'll probably be looking elsewhere unless they decide, well, Steyer probably then can get into second place or even first, and they may go ahead and back him. So it's going to be an interesting next couple of weeks to see what happens in that California race. There's nobody else that's really come to the forefront. That's why Swalwell had done so. But you've got the former Health and Human Services Secretary under Biden. He was the California Attorney General, and he's had a long term in Congress. That's Xavier Becerra. He hasn't caught on yet, but maybe one of these will. Katie Porter, the former Congresswoman from Orange County. She looked to be a major candidate at the beginning of the year, but then went through this profanity-laced video, and that really kind of trashed her campaign, and she went down and down and down. Can she resuscitate now without Swalwell in the race? Well, that's something we will have to see. And then you have the former mayor of Los Angeles, Antonio Villagrosa. So we will see if any of those or some other Democrat, maybe Betty Yee, the former state controller, could come to the forefront and capture enough support to get into the general election. If the Democrats qualify someone for the general, they win the general. But the Republicans' only chance to win in California is if they can qualify two Republicans in this, what is now turning out to be a crazy primary. But now with Swalwell leaving, we're going to see a lot of action in this California governor's race and how it affects things in the next week or two. This week on Tuesday, we have another special election to fill a vacant congressional seat. This will almost assuredly be won by Analilia Mejia. She's the Socialist Democrat, the Bernie Sanders candidate that came in first place in the special Democratic primary. She's very likely to win on Tuesday night, and that would then fill that seat. That seat is vacant. This is the Northern New Jersey 11th District because Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill was elected governor in 2025. So this is the special election to replace her. Obviously, she resigned from the House to assume the governorship, so this will be the replacement for her. When that seat is filled, we'll be down to 61 open House seats, and we will have just one more special election to go through. That will be on June 2nd in California to replace the late Congressman Doug LaMalfa. Until next time, I'm Jim Ellis.